Well, this is Justin Simmons for SimmonsSports1.com. We're here on South Padre Island, Texas, here at the home of Polsky's Boxing Gym with Mr. Larry Polsky himself. Mr. Polsky, again, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to have this interview with us.
My pleasure.
Tell us, how did you get into the fight game? I mean, it's very, I'm not going to say odd, but well, let's use the word odd to have a lawyer as just segue into promoting boxing. It's just, it was something that I wasn't expecting.
Well, I grew up in Queens, New York, and starting in junior high school, I was getting the stuffings beat out of me on a day-to-day basis, so I decided it was time to learn how to defend myself. I went to the Lost Battalion Gym, which is about a block away from my house, and from age 16 to age 20, Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 p.m., a very, very good amateur trainer named Vic Zimmett, very well known in the New York circles, trained me, and that's how I got into boxing.
So let me ask you, what brings you to the Rio Grande Valley?
Well, I actually, in 1973, went to University of Texas Law School. I practiced for a year in Corpus and then moved to Daytona Beach, Florida, where I practiced for 28 years and then lived in Maui for a few years. But as the economy got a little worse in Daytona, a glut of lawyers, etc., Texas was looking better and better to me. I was licensed in Texas because I went to University of Texas Law School, and I bought a little ranch in Brenham in 2005, and then started to miss the beach, looked for a place on the beach, and found this little gem called South Padre Island, so that brought me down here.
All right, so you have such an interesting background already. So you already had a love of boxing as a young kid because you started to learn back in the Northeast area. And then you became a lawyer, and you moved off to Florida. Now, what got you into promoting the sport?
Well, I own a boxing gym in Florida, where I just trained and managed fighters, and here I just train and manage fighters. But I realized when I came here there hadn't been a boxing event here in like 20, 25 years. It's been a long time. So I felt it would be a good thing to put on an event here. I thought the island and the neighboring communities would support it. The island is a kind of a place where people come to spend money. And there'll be tourists here. Like this weekend, there'll be 3,000 people running the jailbreak run. There's Mexican nationals who have money to spend, disposable income. And I thought it wouldn't be a bad place to hold an event. The price for the convention center was reasonable. I got about 1,200 seats to sell, so I thought everything seemed pretty reasonable. I'm not in it at this point to make money. If I break even, I'll be happy. Now, if I can hook up with a championship fight or TV, that'll be a different story. But right now, it's just for the love of the sport.
Hey, well, we, especially at my website, we appreciate it because we love the fight game, and the more fights to cover, the better. You know about the event that's coming up this weekend during Cinco de Mayo weekend?
In the future, I'd like September 14th, Saturday, Mexican Independence Day for my second event. I would love to do that. Now, I'm crazy, but I'm not stupid. I know there'll be some big fights then, just as there is a big fight this weekend. But I've always been taught that in order for a McDonald's to make money, you got to put a Burger King next to it and a Taco Bell next to that. So I think the fact that this weekend is a big fight weekend, it gives people a choice. Do they want to see a pay-per-view televised fight, or do they want to come see some live fights? So it tweaks people's interest up in it.
Well, nothing ever beats the actual event of being there and being in the scene and hearing the gloves hit the body and body scene and seeing front row, seeing people hit the canvas after a good knockdown. Wouldn't you agree?
I have absolutely agree, and I think two people making their pro debut can be just exciting as two people that are 30-0 fighting each other. It all depends on the quality of the fight and whether they're willing to engage. So sometimes two guys 30-0 can be the dullest fight in the world, and some guys who are 0-0 each can be a very exciting 4-round fight and actually create more excitement.
Well, Mr. Polsky, we appreciate your time once again, and we look forward to seeing the fight tomorrow and seeing all your fights coming up in the future.
Okay, one final note. I'm a stickler to making certain that no one on my card has a losing record. I will not tolerate it, nor will I promote it. Now, one of the guys on my card, who will be unnamed, turned out to have an 0-1 record, but I was told he was 2-0 when I signed for the fight. And when I did the fight facts, I found it was 0-1. But if I had known it, I wouldn't have put him on my card. 0-0 is fine, but 5-5 is fine. 5-6 is not acceptable. And you'll never see a fighter on my card, say a fighter who's 7-0 with 7 knockouts, fighting a fighter who's 8-38 with 17 straight losses. You will never, ever, ever see a fight like that on any of my cards. Everything will be competitive, at least on paper. Now, I can't go in there and throw punches for the guys, but on paper, it's looking good. All looking good. And there's no patsies here, there's no opponents, and there's no punching bags.
Well, you heard it here, folks. First here, folks, on SimmonsSports1.com. Straight from the mouth of the promoter himself. You're going to get nothing but fantastic fights, nothing but even records or winning records, no losing records on his fight cards. So why don't you come and check him out, Polsky Promotions, in this weekend here in South Padre Island, Texas. And I'd like to thank him again for taking the time to interview us, Gus.
Thank you for taking the time to interview me. I appreciate it.
Oh, we really appreciate it again, sir.